Being alone isn't the same as being lonely. And before we begin, it's important to clarify the difference between the two. You see, being lonely means you feel sad or abandoned because you feel isolated, while being alone means you're by yourself. The reason why it's important to know the difference is that some people assume that a person must be lonely because they're alone, but this isn't necessarily the case at all. Of course, there are those who don't like being alone, but most times people just want to be by themselves, and there's nothing wrong with that. Loners may not give off the best impression, but they have unique personality traits that make them very valuable. So, here are some personality traits of people who like to be alone. 1. They value time. People who prefer their own company value their time and that of others, and it's probably why they manage it so well. They always do the best they can not to be late, but they never waste other people's time, and they would expect you not to waste theirs as well. They like to stick to a schedule, and so last-minute plans tend to annoy them. They always need to know that they'll have enough time to be on their own, preferably before and after any sort of social event. And it's for this reason that you'll realize they don't feel bad about ditching last-minute plans. That only leaves them with little time to prepare. Another thing is that they never really waste time holding grudges, being jealous of someone, and never put in the effort to partake in senseless arguments. To them, time is of great importance. 2. They're self-aware. Many people choose to brush off their thoughts and feelings, but loners prefer to embrace them and become fully aware of them. Achieving self-awareness is very crucial but challenging. Loners know themselves better than anyone else though, and because of this, they can also understand those around them. A lot of people find it hard to deal with negative thoughts and emotions, but loners have an easier time handling such situations. They have a way of developing a good deal of personal insight when they're contemplating. By doing this, they know what matters most, where they're heading in life, and what past experiences can teach them. Of course, they're aware of their strengths and weaknesses and set goals accordingly. The time they spend alone allows them to understand what their ambitions are in life, what matters most to them, and think about the lessons they've learned from their past. If they make a mistake, they can set aside some thinking time and identify the source of the problem, which will prevent them from making the same mistake twice. 3. They're level-headed. Loners are strong-willed, even in tough situations. They have a certain level of focus and willpower as a result of constant reflection and alone time. This is not to say that they are never swamped by stressful situations, but they choose to spend time on their own and refuel instead of getting caught up with problems and distractions. They don't usually make rash and irrational decisions. They prefer to sit down and mull over their thoughts and will always think ahead before they speak. They rationalize and come up with plans internally and are totally cool with taking time to formulate solutions to their problems. 4. They're open-minded. Just because people like being alone, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're rigid and close-minded. Loners are actually extremely receptive and open to new ideas and suggestions. It's not like they plan to lock themselves up forever. They like to go out from time to time and explore and go on new adventures. They like experiencing new things, despite the general assumption that people who like to spend more time alone are shy and antisocial. The difference between them and the usual crowds is that they prefer to do everything in their own time at their own pace. And that's why you'll find that some prefer to be left alone for a while before going somewhere where there's going to be lots of people. 5. They're very empathetic. These people are among the most empathetic people you will ever meet. They tend to sympathize with others on the same level. It can be hard feeling everyone else's sorrows and despairs, but the bright side about being empathetic is that you always see the good in almost any negative situation. You could say it's encoded in their DNA to find a solution to what's making someone else upset. 6. They're independent. Introverts are the most independent people in the world. Hardly will you ever find someone who enjoys solitude and feeling the need to rely on someone else. They prefer to be their own person and do things their own way, even when in a relationship with someone. They try to avoid being dependent on others and will go above and beyond to prove how capable they are of doing something or living on their own. To them, there's nothing particularly wrong with living close to someone. They just believe that codependence isn't for them. The thing is, they don't need others in their world. They rather choose to have them around. 7. They're great listeners. Loners are naturally good listeners. When they're talking to someone else, they don't feel the need to share their own thoughts and feelings because they already contemplate them when alone. And because of this, their attention is solely on others and what they're going through. They're the type of friend or coworker that you would turn to when you're sad or upset or have news to share. They always listen and are with you in that moment without having to turn it around and making it all about them. Extroverts usually dive into conversations without fully processing what the other person said. And it's not because they're selfish or don't care, but because they have a different way of sorting through information interactively, says Dr. Lori Helgo, author of Introvert Power: Why Your Hidden Life is Your Hidden Strength. Introverts, on the other hand, process information internally, and this allows them to hear, understand, and provide carefully thought about insight when they do respond. 8. They are aware of imperfections. Loners are not fixated on creating a perfect image for the whole world to see. As a matter of fact, they're completely comfortable with the idea they aren't perfect for everyone. It's this mentality that allows one to grow spiritually and emotionally. Knowing who you truly are might take time, but the moment you've achieved self-love and self-acceptance, you'll see the world in a whole different light. These people understand that in order to love someone truly, you have to master the art of first loving and accepting yourself. They always search for ways to love themselves no matter what. They're very much aware that times will come when they aren't as ready or perfect or experienced enough to do some things, but they still love themselves regardless. 9. They prefer to mingle with certain people. Keeping in mind the fact that introverts value their time, they're very choosy when it comes to who they want to spend their time with. Small talk isn't really their thing. They find all the how are yous and what are you up to these days unnecessary, and fail to understand why people always fill the silence with meaningless chit-chat. They prefer to skip all the small talk and just talk to people who would challenge them psychologically. 10. They have a strong moral compass. People who take pleasure in spending most of their time in the comfort of their own company have a very distinct idea of what's right and wrong. They always take the time to analyze a scenario and come to the right decision. It isn't easy to be pressured by peers. They have certain values that they always stick to and aren't easily swayed or convinced by others. Introverts also don't put up with insults or degrading language of any kind, and are known to stand up for people who can't stand up for themselves. They have a precise moral compass that guides them through life, towards what's just and right. 11. They follow their gut. As they spend more time on their own with their emotions, they move a step ahead and come closer to recognizing their gut feeling. They're always guided through life by their intuition, leading them to the next best thing as they continue to grow. There's a lot that can be said about them and their gut instincts when it comes to making tough choices. They never falter during difficult times or fear what life might throw at them because they know that their intuition will always find a way out. 12. They are loyal and reliable. Just because someone prefers to spend more time on their own, it doesn't mean they don't cherish friendships. It's true that they're very choosy when it comes to who they let in, but once they do, they're loyal to a T. They're also super reliable. If they already agreed to help you with something, rest assured that they are more than willing to commit. They're true to their word. They know how to value your worth and will willingly give an arm if you're worthy of being their friend. Their loyalty extends to relationships, work, and family, and this isn't just limited to those they know. They're willing to offer support to a worthy cause. It was found that those with this personality type donate a lot to organizations, and not just on a one-time basis, but continuously. 13. They respect boundaries. They value the roles people play in their lives. So in order to manage a healthy relationship with themselves and others as well, they understand the vitality of setting clear, healthy boundaries. Loners understand themselves perfectly, and this gives them room to set clear ideas and strong values. They know that they are never alone, even if they are the last person on earth. In their heart, they know they have themselves. They'll respect their boundaries and that of others, and will let you know if you're about to do wrong by them. 14. They're courageous. Loners and introverts don't see themselves as timid as most people do. Their reserved nature doesn't mean that they don't want to learn about the world around them. They're very much eager to explore at every juncture, but just happen to prefer doing it alone. People who love spending time alone know how to beat their fears and flaws. That's why loners tend to be stronger than others. After all, someone with the confidence to try new things and do them on their own is a confident and courageous person who deserves admiration. Wouldn't you agree? Let us know your thoughts down below. And with that said, have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next one.